The most dangerous place in the Appalachian Mountains is usually the one that looks the safest. A quiet trail covered in fallen leaves, a crystal-clear stream winding through the trees, a peaceful campsite where the only sound is birdsong. Nothing about these places tells you to be afraid, and that's exactly what makes them dangerous, because nature doesn't need to look threatening to be powerful. It only needs your attention to drift for a single moment, one careless step, one hand on the wrong rock, one glance in the wrong direction. That's often all it takes. Today we'll explore 15 remarkable animals that remind us of one simple truth. The Appalachian Mountains were never truly tamed. We've simply learned to mistake their silence for safety. Before we meet the first animal, there's one thing you should know about the Appalachian Mountains. People often describe these mountains as peaceful, ancient, beautiful, and they're right. But beauty has a way of making us believe we're safe. These forests have watched civilizations come and go. Long before there were hiking trails, campgrounds, or scenic overlooks, they already belonged to something else, something that never left. Over millions of years, the Appalachians became one of North America's richest ecosystems, where every fallen log, every rocky ledge, every stream, and every patch of leaves can hide a life perfectly adapted to staying unseen. Out here, survival doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to the hardest to find. And that's exactly why so many encounters happen only after it's too late. If exploring the hidden side of America's wilderness is your kind of adventure, consider subscribing to Wild Verge. Every week we uncover the predators, mysteries, and wildlife stories that most people never realize are right beside them. Now, let's meet the first animal. Every wilderness has its giants, but the Appalachian Mountains teach a different lesson. Here, the first dangers aren't the biggest predators, they're the ones most people never notice. 15. Copperhead. The copperhead doesn't rely on speed or strength, it relies on patience. Across the Appalachian Mountains, its copper-colored body blends almost perfectly with fallen leaves, making it one of the easiest venomous snakes to overlook. Most encounters happen during ordinary moments. A hiker steps off the trail, someone reaches for firewood, or a child explores the forest floor. The snake isn't hunting people. It simply reacts when there's nowhere left to escape. In Appalachia, one careless step can be all it takes. But the forest floor isn't the only place hiding surprises. 14. Black widow. Not every dangerous animal in these mountains lives out in the wilderness. Some have quietly adapted to life around people. The black widow prefers dark, undisturbed places, woodpiles, old sheds, crawl spaces, and even boots left outside overnight. It rarely bites unless trapped, but when it does, its powerful neurotoxic venom can cause severe pain and muscle cramps. It's a reminder that the boundary between civilization and the wild is often much thinner than we think. And sometimes, danger waits beneath the water instead. 13. Snapping turtle. At first glance, a quiet mountain pond feels like the safest place in the forest. But below the surface, a snapping turtle may be resting in the mud, almost invisible. These ancient reptiles spend most of their lives avoiding conflict. Yet when cornered on land or handled by curious people, they can strike with surprising speed and powerful jaws. They are living proof that even peaceful waters deserve respect. Then, there are the predators that rarely let you know they're watching. 12. Eastern coyote. As wolves disappeared from much of the eastern United States, coyotes quietly expanded into the empty space they left behind. Today, the eastern coyote has become one of Appalachia's most adaptable predators, moving through forests, farms, and even the edges of small mountain towns, usually after sunset. Most people never see one. They simply hear distant howls echoing through the hills and assume the animals are far away. Often, they're much closer than anyone realizes. And as these mountains grow darker, the animals only become harder to find. So far, the dangers we've encountered have been relatively small. But as the sun slips behind the Appalachian ridges, the mountains begin to change. This is when another side of Appalachia comes alive. A world ruled by predators. Number 11. Timber rattlesnake. If the copperhead relies on silence, the timber rattlesnake relies on expectation. Most people believe they'll always hear its rattle before they ever see it, but that's not always true. Timber rattlesnakes are often found resting on sun-warmed rock ledges, beside hiking trails, or hidden among low mountain shrubs. They only use their famous rattle when they believe there's no other option. Most of the time, their camouflage does the job instead. That's why many hikers don't realize a rattlesnake is nearby until they're only a few feet away. But not every danger in these mountains crawls across the forest floor. Number 10. Yellow jackets and hornets. One fact surprises almost everyone. In the United States, stinging insects are responsible for more human deaths than bears, snakes, and spiders combined, largely because of severe allergic reactions. Throughout the Appalachians, yellow jackets often build their nests underground, inside abandoned rodent burrows or beneath fallen logs. You can walk past the same nest dozens of times without ever knowing it's there. But one misplaced step, or even the vibration of a lawnmower, is enough to trigger a full-scale defensive attack. Suddenly, the danger isn't a single sting. It's dozens, sometimes hundreds, striking at once, and even they aren't the best at staying hidden. Number 9. Brown recluse. The brown recluse isn't known for its size, it's known for its patience. This quiet spider prefers dark, undisturbed places, basements, storage boxes, old sheds, closets, or clothing left untouched for long periods. It avoids people whenever possible. But if it's accidentally trapped against the skin, it will bite to defend itself. Its venom can damage surrounding tissue, and recovery may take weeks in severe cases. The unsettling part is that many homeowners never realize a brown recluse has been living nearby until an unexpected encounter finally happens. And then there are the predators almost nobody ever sees. Number 8. Bobcat. The bobcat proves that an apex predator doesn't have to be massive to dominate its environment. Only about twice the size of a domestic cat, it moves almost silently through the forests at dawn and dusk before disappearing back into cover. Bobcats are found throughout much of the Appalachian region, yet sightings remain surprisingly rare because avoiding people is one of their greatest survival skills. Many residents spend decades living beside these forests without ever realizing a bobcat has been quietly passing through the woods behind their home. And if you think the bobcat is the largest predator these mountains still have to offer, the next chapter may change your mind. For more than a century, many believed Appalachia's largest animals had disappeared for good. The great predators, the giants of these mountains. But the truth is, the wilderness never stopped fighting its way back. And today, some of its most remarkable residents are quietly reclaiming the forests they once called home. Number 7. Black bear. If there's one animal that truly represents the Appalachian wilderness, it's the American black bear. From Tennessee to Pennsylvania, black bear populations have made an impressive recovery after decades of conservation. Today, finding tracks along a trail, claw marks on a tree, or even spotting a bear crossing a mountain road is no longer unusual. Most black bears avoid people whenever they can. But once a bear begins associating humans with food, its behavior can change dramatically. A bear that loses its natural fear of people becomes far more unpredictable and far more dangerous. But the black bear isn't the only species making a comeback. Number 6. Fisher. Most people have never heard of the fisher. Even fewer have ever seen one. This powerful member of the weasel family nearly disappeared from much of Appalachia decades ago. Thanks to successful restoration efforts, however, fishers are slowly returning to mature forests across the region. Agile climbers and fearless hunters, they're one of the few predators capable of regularly killing porcupines. While they pose little threat to humans, their return tells a much bigger story. It means the forest itself is becoming healthier. And the changes aren't happening only on the ground, they're happening in the skies as well. Number 5. Golden eagle. Mention the golden eagle, and most Americans picture the wide-open landscapes of the West. But every winter, a small number of these magnificent birds quietly migrate thousands of miles to the Appalachian Mountains. With wings stretching more than 7 feet across and eyesight powerful enough to spot prey from incredible distances, golden eagles patrol the mountain skies almost completely unnoticed. Most visitors never realize one may be soaring high above the ridges, silently watching the valleys below. And then, there's an animal that vanished from these mountains for more than 100 years. Number 4. Elk. For generations, the haunting bugle of the elk disappeared from Appalachia. Today, thanks to ambitious reintroduction and conservation programs, elk have returned to parts of the region, especially around Great Smoky Mountains National Park. A mature bull can weigh more than 700 pounds, making it one of the largest land mammals in the eastern United States. During the autumn rut, males become highly territorial and have been known to charge anything they perceive as a threat, including people who wander too close for a photograph. It's a powerful reminder that even herbivores demand respect when the wild begins reclaiming its place. But one animal still remains, an animal that was never truly meant to be here in the first place. Not every dangerous animal in Appalachia evolved here. Some were brought by people, and over time, they changed these mountains in ways few could have imagined. Number 3. Wild boar. In the early 1900s, European wild boars were introduced into the Appalachian Mountains for private hunting preserves. It didn't take long for some of them to escape into the surrounding forests. More than a century later, their descendants still roam these mountains, mostly under the cover of darkness. Armed with razor-sharp tusks and incredible strength, a cornered wild boar can be one of the most dangerous animals you'll ever encounter in the wild. Yet their greatest impact isn't on people. It's on the ecosystem itself. By tearing up the forest floor in search of food, they destroy native plants, damage fragile habitats, and threaten species that have survived here for thousands of years. But even this powerful animal doesn't take the top spot. Number 2. Black vulture. Unlike most birds of prey, black vultures don't always wait for an animal to die. Working together in small groups, they've been known to attack weak or newborn livestock, and on rare occasions, they've injured pets and even people who got too close to their nests. Across the Appalachian region, their numbers have grown steadily over the past several decades, making them an increasingly common sight above forests, farms, and mountain valleys. While attacks on humans remain rare, their intelligence, bold behavior, and expanding population have made them one of the most closely watched birds in the eastern United States. Number 1. Black-legged tick. The most dangerous animal in the Appalachian Mountains isn't the largest, it isn't the strongest, and it certainly isn't the one that looks the most intimidating. It's the black-legged tick. No bigger than a sesame seed, this tiny parasite has become one of the greatest health risks for anyone exploring the forests of the eastern United States. Hidden in tall grass, low shrubs, and leaf litter, it waits patiently for a passing animal or person. Unlike snakes or bears, a tick doesn't need to defend itself. It doesn't chase. It doesn't threaten. It simply climbs aboard unnoticed. A single bite can transmit Lyme disease, anaplasmosis, babesiosis, and several other serious illnesses. Many people never realize they've been bitten until days later, when the first symptoms begin to appear. That's what makes the black-legged tick so different from every other animal on this list. The danger isn't immediate, it's invisible, and that's exactly why it's so effective. After everything we've seen, one thing becomes clear. The Appalachian Mountains aren't dangerous because they're filled with monsters. They're dangerous because they reward awareness and punish carelessness. Every trail, every stream, every fallen tree, and every quiet hillside is part of an ecosystem that has been shaping life for millions of years. Most of the animals you've seen today don't want anything to do with people. They're simply trying to survive in the only home they've ever known. The real challenge isn't conquering the wilderness, it's learning how to move through it with knowledge and respect. Because the wild was never our enemy. It was here long before us. And if we forget that, the mountains have a way of reminding us.